Imagine standing on a dusty battlefield in ancient Greece, thousands of soldiers facing each other in silence, knowing that in the next few hours, the future of Western civilization might be decided. In 479 BC, two massive armies met near a small Greek town called Plataea. On one side stood the powerful Persian Empire, the largest empire the world had ever seen. On the other side were the divided Greek city-states, famous for arguing with each other more than cooperating. But something unusual happened that day. The Greeks united. And by the end of the battle, the Persian invasion of Greece would collapse completely. Here's the crazy part: this battle didn't just decide who controlled a piece of land, it shaped the future of democracy, philosophy, and Western culture. So how did a group of rival city-states defeat the most powerful empire on Earth? Let's break down the dramatic story of the Battle of Plataea. By the early 5th century BC, the Persian Empire was unstoppable. Under King Darius I and later his son Xerxes, Persia controlled enormous territories stretching from India to Egypt. Their armies were huge, diverse, and extremely well organized. Greece looked like an easy target. From the Persian perspective, the Greek city-states were small, divided, and constantly fighting each other. Conquering them seemed inevitable. Persia had already tried once. In 490 BC, Persian forces invaded Greece but were defeated at the famous Battle of Marathon. That defeat embarrassed the empire, but it didn't end their ambitions. 10 years later, Xerxes launched one of the largest invasions the ancient world had ever seen. And at first, it worked. When Xerxes invaded Greece in 480 BC, the scale was terrifying. Ancient sources describe hundreds of thousands of Persian soldiers marching into Greece, supported by a massive navy. Greek resistance seemed hopeless. The famous stand of 300 Spartans at Thermopylae slowed the Persians but ultimately failed. Athens was captured and burned. Many Greeks believed the war was already lost. But then something unexpected happened. The Greek navy defeated the Persian fleet at the Battle of Stalemate in 480 BC. This naval victory forced Xerxes to retreat back to Persia with much of his army. However, he left behind a powerful force in Greece under his general Mardonius. And Mardonius had one clear mission: finish the conquest. In 479 BC, Mardonius gathered a massive Persian army in central Greece. His strategy was clever. Instead of simply attacking, he tried diplomacy first. He offered Athens peace, independence, and even wealth if they would switch sides and support Persia. It was a tempting offer. Athens had just been destroyed. Their homes were burned. Accepting the deal might have saved them years of war. But the Athenians refused. Instead, they sent a clear message: Greece would either be free or destroyed trying. That decision forced the final confrontation. For perhaps the first time in history, the Greek city-states truly united. Sparta, Athens, Corinth, and several smaller states gathered their armies to face the Persians together. The combined Greek force was around 80,000 soldiers. This was still smaller than the Persian army, but the Greeks had one key advantage. Their soldiers were hoplites. Hoplites were heavily armored infantry equipped with bronze shields, long spears, and tight formation tactics known as the phalanx. In close combat, they were incredibly difficult to defeat. The stage was set. Both armies marched toward the plains near the town of Plataea. When the armies finally met near Plataea, something strange happened. They didn't immediately fight. For more than a week, both sides waited. The Persians had strong cavalry forces that harassed the Greek army, cutting off supply routes and creating pressure. Meanwhile, the Greeks stayed defensive, holding the higher ground and waiting for the Persians to attack. It became a dangerous stalemate. Food supplies were shrinking, and Greek commanders began arguing about strategy. Then one night, everything went wrong. Due to supply problems and confusion, the Greek army attempted to reposition during the night. But the retreat turned chaotic. Units became separated. Communication broke down. Some soldiers moved too early, others too late. From the Persian perspective, it looked like the Greek army was fleeing. Mardonius saw what he believed was the perfect opportunity. He ordered an immediate attack. The Persians charged forward to crush what they thought was a retreating enemy. But they were about to make a deadly mistake. At the center of the Greek army stood the Spartans. When the Persian attack began, Spartan soldiers quickly formed their phalanx formation. This is where the difference between the two armies became clear. Persian soldiers were skilled and brave, but they were lightly armored compared to the Greeks. Spartan warriors carried heavy shields, bronze helmets, and long spears that gave them reach and protection. As the Persians attacked, the Spartans absorbed the assault and pushed forward. The fighting became brutal hand-to-hand combat. Shields smashed together. Spears broke. Soldiers fought at arm's length. But slowly, the Persian lines began to collapse. In ancient battles, the death of a general could change everything. And that's exactly what happened at Plataea. During the chaos of battle, the Persian commander Mardonius was killed, reportedly struck by a Greek warrior with a stone or spear. When news of his death spread, the Persian army's morale shattered. Without leadership, the Persian forces began to panic. Greek soldiers pushed harder, breaking through the Persian defenses and sending thousands of troops fleeing the battlefield. What began as a confident Persian attack turned into a complete disaster. By the end of the battle, the Persian army in Greece was destroyed. The survivors retreated north, abandoning their invasion entirely. At nearly the same time, Greek forces also defeated Persian troops at the Battle of Mycale in Asia Minor. Together, these victories ended Persia's attempt to conquer Greece. The massive invasion that had begun with Xerxes just 2 years earlier was finished. Greece had survived. And the consequences would echo through history. The Battle of Plataea was more than just another ancient battle. It protected the independence of the Greek city-states. Because Greece remained free, its culture continued to develop democracy in Athens, philosophy from thinkers like Socrates and Plato, and scientific discoveries that shaped Western civilization. If Persia had won, history might look completely different today. Different governments. Different ideas. Maybe even a different cultural foundation for Europe. All of that hinged on one battlefield in 479 BC. A place where a group of rival Greek cities stood together and defeated the largest empire on Earth. The Battle of Plataea proved that unity and discipline could defeat overwhelming power. One moment of cooperation between rival Greek states changed the course of history forever. If you enjoyed this deep dive into ancient history, make sure to like the video and subscribe, and check out the next video where we break down another battle that completely changed the world.